Our coverage on the local races too. One of the many measures that did not pass last night was upgrades to the FARGODOME.
It was close, but it ultimately failed. City officials met this morning to discuss what's in store for the future of the dome. Valley News Team's Anna Ballweber followed this race all day yesterday and brings us more.
Renovations of the FARGODOME are on hold after voters rejected the Measure 1 proposal. Left in the hands of the voters for the second time, FARGODOME officials feel like history is repeating itself after a similar proposal failed in 2023.
We did do some research. We did find that it was important that something happens to this facility.
For the facility, they proposed a quarter-cent sales tax to pay for the $140 million expansion project, something only 48% of Fargo voters approved of.
Discouraged. Maybe that's where the FARGODOME Authority is right now, coming in at, even below 50%.
They're now turning to Plan B, which is leaving many unanswered questions as to exactly what that is.
At this point right now, we're going to have to start investigating Plan B, but what that looks like at this juncture, we don't know.
Unsure at this point, but confident things will change.
And so we have to take a look at what we need to do, spend what we have right now appropriately, and there will be some changes. They just won't be on the scale of what was originally proposed.
City voters passed other sales tax increases on the ballot on Tuesday, including a measure to help fund police and fire department operations. With two sales tax measures, Fargo mayor said this might have impacted the overall vote.
So when it came out, we were concerned that you're competing two taxes and the public might accept one, but it's hard to accept two.
Despite Measure 1 failing in the 2024 election, city leaders said they will start determining the must-haves for improving the FARGODOME at the start of 2025. In Fargo, Anna Ballweber, Valley News Live.
They tell us you can expect community surveys regarding the FARGODOME sometime next year.